History enjoys telling of my brethren's exploits, of our ungraceful fall from grace, of our damnation to temptation and sin, of each of my brothers who were caught by prophets and saints, of plagues that we and the wicked were blamed for bringing, of witch hunts, trials. What foolish mortals! The monstrosities that they blame us for were forged by the human mind. Such a shame, though, that so many of my foolish brothers have fallen. But then again, it shouldn't be. That's what happens when you get greedy in the taking of souls. I've never taken part of my brother's games. I prefer a one-on-one game with a single soul. It keeps my hands clean of the monstrosities. I only walk among mortals in search for a dark soul. I only play games with the darkest of souls that have a rich, sadistic flavor. A soul whose vassal looks so innocent, so kind, so charming, so beautiful. And yet the soul itself is a shade of sadistic black that the human eye has yet to truly see. Alas, these souls are rare. I searched the earth for centuries before I found that dark, troubled, torn soul. A misguided soul that felt and looked so pure on the outside, but was a shade of black that I had yet to see on the inside. An innocent face with the flavor of a black, black soul. It was a day in December when I found the soul. The soul's vassal was no more than 15. Her flesh was bruised, her hair ripped, and her gut was ill. Her soul merely screamed for revenge. We never would have guessed it, though. Her expression was just as numb as the freezing air around her. She herself was numbed. Her ungloved hands were deathly pale, with hints of blue beginning to show, and her tiny form was covered in at most 2 inches of snow. Beneath the pathetic cloth, she wore tattooed symbols that invoked a demon summoning and supernatural protection. Protection that came through collaring a demon. A single glance into the young woman's eyes said that she wanted to die. In fact, that was what her mind was doing, thinking of all the different ways that she could die and escape her abuser. So far it had looked like her selection was death by exposure. "Do you desire death so badly?" I asked her. Upon hearing my voice, she shivered and looked up. "Don't you wish for revenge before taking that last breath?" Blue eyes were filled with hope and wonder. The vassal's soul fluttered angrily at its cage, much like a hawk who had been denied the chance to spread its wings for far too long. "I can help you get that revenge. I can make them suffer far worse than how you have suffered." I offered a hand. It is but a small price, but it is worth it. When she moved to take my hand, I withdrew it but for a moment. "Though I must warn you, should you accept my offer, the pearly gates will forever be closed to you." She looked out at the park. Dangerous dark glints shone in her eyes. "Heaven is where they believe they will go upon death," she mused softly before standing. The movement shook snow from onyx locks and created a blizzard at her feet. How ironic that those who do such sins and monstrosities lay claim to such a paradise. She looked to me and grasped my hand. "If heaven is their paradise, then earth shall be their hell. Whatever the price is, I'll pay it to make this possible. It was hard not to grin, but then again I didn't need to. She smiled so sadistically and yet so elegantly that it shamed Lilith's smile. In the end, I mimicked her. Shall we then? The car waits. I gestured to where a car sat. 'Twas not my own in that moment, but it would be. She nodded. Let's, she agreed, and started registering just how cold she was. She walked ahead of me by 3 paces, and after her 6th step, she froze. Though, before we leave, she noted with an amused thought. She looked back to me with glittering blue eyes. Send whatever plague toward stepfather that seems fit. Maybe a few delusions, or, better yet, the removal of any part that has touched me. Oh, how this immortal life never dulls with souls like these. Inwardly I smirked before bowing. I'll be back in a moment. Please wait in the warm car until my arrival. Do me a favor, she commanded. Don't be gentle with him, she finished, before continuing on the path toward the car. I grinned so ever darkly. Oh yes, these games will never grow dull with souls like these. It was a never-ending circle of hurt, hate, and revenge. How amusing are the games that humans play.